It's time to play the music. It's time to light the lights.
It's time to meet the FSM staff on the weekly show this week.
We're back with new kits, tools, and more.
Let's get things started with an all-new 1/72nd scale Fairey battle from Azur FRROM.
While MPM, part of the special hobby group that Azur FRROM works with, produced a battle 20 years ago, this is not that kit.
Instead, it's an all-new tool of the British light bomber.
This looks great with fine recessed panel lines on the fuselage, upper and lower wing halves, and the separate rudder and elevators.
In addition to structural elements molded inside the fuselage, cockpit detail includes bulkheads, seats, instrument panel, controls, and upper frames.
Other highlights include detailed gear bays, landing lights, optional exhausts, posable rear gun, and canopy. The clear parts provide lights as well.
Decals supply markings for 3 aircraft: a Belgian Air Force plane that took part in the bombing of the Vroonhoven Bridge in May 1940, a Royal Air Force battle from No. 103 Squadron in France in May and June 1940, and a Greek bomber in Central Macedonia from February 1940.
While its career as a bomber was short-lived, the battle went on to be a trainer for many Allied countries during World War II.
And as such, it's nice to have an all-new kit of it, and Azur FRROM has 2 more on the way.
If a 1/35th scale Stuart is too big for you, but you want more detail than you can get in 1/72nd scale, we have the kit for you.
It's Tamiya's 1/48th scale M5A1 Stuart, the American light tank from World War II.
This kit features a multi-part lower hull with belly, sides, transmission cover, and rear that joins the upper hull comprising the sides, top, glasses, and rear. Metal weights add heft to the hull.
The outer halves of the bogies trap the road wheels. Idlers, drive sprockets, and Lincoln-length tracks finish the running gear. The turret has left and right halves, top, rear, front, and mantlet for the main gun. The commander's hatch is designed to be posed open, and there's a figure to fill it.
Decals supply markings for 2 3rd Armored Division tanks on the Western Front in July 1944, C-34 Carroll, and C-12 Concrete.
Another good-looking model from Tamiya, just as you'd expect.
If you're a Star Trek fan and you want a collection of constant scale starships that won't take up a whole lot of room, you'll like this kit.
It's a collection of Star Trek, Allies, and Adversaries in 1/2500th scale, sometimes called cadet scale.
There are 8 ships in the box, including the USS Defiant, which builds from 6 parts, the NX-01 Enterprise refit in 13 parts, a 10-part USS Reliant, and an 11-part USS Saratoga.
Enemy vessels include a 9-part Klingon Katinga cruiser, a 10-part Klingon D7 battle cruiser, a Cardassian Keldon-class cruiser with optional parts for a Galar-class ship, and a 4-part Romulan bird of prey.
An extensive decal sheet is provided that includes full Aztec paneling for the Federation ships and surface details for the Adversaries.
This looks like a fun way to add a fleet of ships to your display cabinet.
Most of AMT Erdl's aircraft kits ended up going to Italeri after the rest of the company's assets were sold in the mid-2000s.
One of those making a welcome return to store shelves is the 1/48th scale Boston or A20, in this case the early BC version.
Surface detail is recessed panel lines on the fuselage, wings, tailplanes, and nacelles. Optional nose pieces provide for the stepped or slanted window lines, and the cowls are single pieces.
The cockpit is relatively simple, with a seat, sides, controls, and instrument panel. In front is the bombardier's position, and behind, the bomb bay, which can be posed open or closed, and the gunner's position. There's detail inside the gear doors, and the gear legs look good. The engines feature 2 full rows of cylinders.
Decals provide markings for 5 aircraft. A South African Air Force Boston III from No. 24 Squadron on Malta in July 1943. A Royal Air Force Boston from No. 226 Squadron shot down near Ostend, Belgium in April 1942. A Free French Air Force Boston III from the 342nd Squadron in D-Day stripes in June 1944. An American A-20B Havoc named Lady Jean from the 47th Bomb Group in Algeria in December 1942. And a U.S. Army Air Force 84th Bomb Group A-20B in Tunisia in 1943.
The last time this version of the kit was marketed was in 2006, so it's good to see it back.
Indeed.
In 1997, short-lived Czech manufacturer Gavia produced a 1/72 scale L-410.
Produced by Czech aircraft manufacturer Let Kunovice, which built 1,200 of them, the aircraft was designed as an airliner or military transport.
Eduard has re-released the 1/72 scale Turbolet L-410UVP with Eduard Heavy Retro branding.
This is a well-detailed kit with very fine recessed panel lines on the fuselage, nacelles, tailplanes, and wings.
There is no skimping on the interior, which includes pilot seats and 19 passenger seats, bulkheads and instrument panel, controls, and the ceiling for the passenger compartment.
The clear parts look good, so some of that detail should be visible. Masks will make painting it with all the windows in place easier. Typical of Eduard updates, there is a fret of photo etch metal here that supplies control yokes, exterior details and antennas, landing gear parts, and control linkages. Brass and resin replaces the kit props, landing gear legs and wheels, and the nose gear bay.
Decals and color diagrams show 6 colorful marking options. A Czech Air Force trainer now in the Kunovice Aviation Museum, a VIP transport in Luftwaffe service in 1996, a Czechoslovak Air Force plane used to transport foreign arms inspectors in 1990, a Slovair transport, a bright yellow Polish skydiving transport, and finally an earlier incarnation of the blue Czech trainer seen earlier.
I've always liked the L-410, and this nice kit is made even better with Eduard's additions.
If you want to take it up a notch, pick up the Eduard SPACE set with 3D printed decals for the instrument panel and PE seatbelts for the pilots.
Look for reviews of the L-410 along with the Battle and Stuart in the near future at FineScale.com.
The place to go for expansive show galleries with detailed captions, snapshots, reviews, and so much more.
FineScale Modeler Weekly, brought to you by Hobby Zone USA, your source for hobby storage solutions, hard-to-find hobby tools, and aftermarket modeling needs.
So this is a bittersweet episode of FineScale Modeler Weekly. We're only going to have 2 parts today, so we're going to skip tooling around. We're going to go right into the wrap up.
Here's 2 tools to
tools to tool around. Anyway, I guess that's as good a segue as any, because this is going to be the last FineScale Modeler Weekly that you are going to be in.
That's correct. I'm going to go work somewhere else.
Okay. Can you share where that's going to be?
Yes. I'm going to go work for Round 2, the model company in South Bend, Indiana.
Congratulations. What are you going to be doing?
The head of model kit development.
That is spectacular. Good job, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Aaron started at Kulmbach in July of 2006, and that would have put him working right away on the November 2006 issue, which you can see here. So that was the first issue that you worked on for FineScale.
Yep. And
the last issue that you're going to be working on is the May-June of 2025.
That's correct. Yep. We're in the process of putting those stories together now.
We are. It's been a long time. I mean, because you and I started at Kulmbach like 2 months apart.
Yep.
Right, you were in July and I started in September.
Right.
2 different titles, but we worked together, and then eventually we both were working on FineScale, and then I've been blipped and blopped and all over the place, and finally made it back. And you've stayed.
I'm the constant, and you're the
yeah. That's exactly what it is. So for once now, I am the constant, and you are the.
Yes.
You're the one that's going to go off and do other things.
I am, and it is a FineScale's been fun. It's been a big part of my life. I started reading it when I was a kid, so it was a huge deal to come work here.
Yeah.
And it's been great fun. It really has been.
Good.
And it's been fun to work on a lot of models and work with people like you and Ken.
Well, good luck in your future endeavor. Round 2, Jamie and Chad, Jamie in particular though, you've got something coming, buddy. When will I
had
see him
nothing to
next?
do with that. Wonderfest?
Wonderfest, yeah. So, anyway, it has been one hell of a ride, sir.
It has been.
So,
Thank you.
good luck.
Thank you, sir. And to you also.
And we're going to go on hiatus on videos for the next couple of weeks, and then we'll be coming back. So, we'll see you then.
It's been nice working with you guys.
Bye.
Oh, yeah.
If there's a 4-part Romulan bird of prey on this Stuart, things just got weird.
Yeah, I was like, wait a s-
While MPM, part of the special hobby group, I made a goof with goof. While MPM, part of the special hobby group that's I want to go home.
is brought to you by Hobby Zone USA, your source for hobby storage solutions, hard to find hobby tools, and aftermarket modeling needs.
The only thing standing in their way is the evil FSM Taskmaster Aaron.
Gee, I think it's gonna be a long, long build.